Hi, my name is Aditi and I'll be explaining how items made of PLA, such as bottle caps, biodegrade, as well as my research related to that. This fall, I'll be entering college and I hope to study mechanical engineering with a minor in materials science to continue exploring this field. You have a bottle cap that says PLA and biodegradable. You decide to throw it in the compost but don't think much about it after. But what really happens to the bottle cap? What is PLA? PLA stands for polylactic acid and is produced by the polymerization or combination of many strands of lactic acid, a type of chemical. Polymerization could occur through a chemical reaction or a fermentation method. For example, cornstarch and sugar beets undergo bacterial fermentation to create PLA. But how does PLA biodegrade? Well, first, the compost facility collects the PLA and they need to ensure that it only has biodegradable material and they clean it. The compost facility also has to ensure that the PLA is ground into very small pieces to allow for easier biodegradation. Then, the PLA is placed in an environment with other biodegradable items and soil. The biodegradation involves two steps. The first step involves heating the compost to around 140 degrees and adding moisture. When we do this, we are actually allowing the PLA chains to split and allowing the PLA to be exposed to special digestive microbes. This process also creates smaller polymers, which eventually become lactic acid again. After that, the microorganisms in the compost and soil mineralize the lactic acid, generating methane through anaerobic conditions, which means without the help of oxygen, and carbon dioxide aerobically, which means with the help of oxygen. However, keep in mind that this process also involves very specific temperatures to trigger decomposition. Additionally, even in a compost facility, it still takes around 7 months or more for PLA to decompose. In nature, PLA will take around 80 years to decompose, but some PLA bottles take anywhere from 100 to 1,000 years to decompose in a landfill. So, while in theory PLA is biodegradable, in practice most compost facilities are not able to handle it due to the length of the process. PLA could be the future of sustainability if we make the process more streamlined. The fact that we have created plastic that is biodegradable is truly revolutionary, but it is useless if the process of biodegradation is complicated. Because I was so interested in trying to come up with sustainable solutions to plastic pollution, I decided to reach out to Professor Grace Gu at UC Berkeley, and to my surprise, she answered and even allowed me to research under her. For the past 2 years, in her lab, I have researched incorporating old plastic waste into filament for 3D printing. 3D printing is the future of manufacturing, and it is also a faster way to use plastic waste. How it works. Old plastic waste is first ground up into tiny pieces. We then combine those plastic pieces with a plastic polymer called ABS, just to make sure all the materials bind together. Then it goes through a machine called an extruder, where it becomes one long strand of plastic called filament. The filament is wrapped around a spool and then it's ready to be 3D printed. We found after doing this process and analysis that old plastics like PLA, which are hard to biodegrade, but also other non-renewable plastics can be combined together and still have strong material properties compared to a pure or virgin plastic. That means that instead of throwing away plastics into landfills, they can actually be used for filament and create 3D printed parts with it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you learned something new and see the possibilities there are to revolutionize the industry of plastic production to impact our world for the better.